Hello, my dear friends out there in the field, wherever you are, from America, Canada, China. Hello to China. I'm very pleased to be here today and be joined by you. Today's theme is the 14 possible causes of having a bad sleep. Now, how did I come about this? Over the years, I talked to many people covering all different kind of subjects. And one subject kept coming up that many people told me, they have a problem to sleep properly. Either they don't get enough hours to sleep, or it's a restless sleep, or they wake up, they fall asleep, they wake up, they fall asleep. All kinds of patterns which didn't sound too good. So I looked into this, and over the years I made some notes and I made some observations, and I finally decided to put it out there. And I came across so far 14 possible causes for bad sleep. They may not cover everything, and if you find something I'm missing today, please send me an email and let me know so I can add it to my ultimate list. My guess is that these 14 causes may cover anywhere between 90 and 99% of all possible causes. But then again, I'm open to learn. And feel free to contact me and let me know. As the subject is pretty long and intense, I decided to do 2 sections. Today is part 1, and in 4 weeks from now, you can listen and join, hopefully, for part 2. And while we're waiting for the next part 2, please take those topics which I'm presenting to you today and think about it. So the question is, do you personally have sleep problems, or somebody you know? I only found out that there's an incredible amount of people who just have these problems. We consider a sleep duration of 6 to 8 hours to be adequate. Maybe 6, maybe 7, maybe 8. Every person is different after a regular day of work. Some people get away with 2, 3, 4, 5 hours a night. Some gurus say, I don't need that much. Are these the exceptions, or is this the rule? So it doesn't matter if somebody in the world you know gets away with 2, 3 hours. The question is, how much time do you need to feel rested and well prepared for the next day? Now, the biggest mistake you can make if you have sleep problems, that you ask a doctor. Why would that be a big problem to my definition? Well, first of all, a lot of you know my opinion about doctors, which I'll give you again in a moment. The question is, what does the doctor know about sleep problems? I'll be giving you 14 causes, possible causes. If a regular doctor can give you at least 7 of those, I would start to have respect for him. If he would give you all 14, I will be over the moon that some doctor ever even thought about this and thought it through, because it's a subject not being taught in universities. As well, not taught in universities, electromagnetic radiation, or water, quality of water, nutritional supplements. A lot of subjects which everybody should know about, and every doctor should know about, are not taught in universities. Very strange, isn't it? And many doctors, when I talk to them on a one-to-one, they admit that they are being educated to prescribe toxic chemical substances from the pharmaceutical industry. That's all their main education is. And the very good doctors know that they had to do more than that. So my opinion, as some of you may have already heard about it and seen it, that 95% of all doctors, to my opinion, are a disgrace. They're terrible. They have no idea what they're talking about. In general, holistic for a body, for a human. 3% are okay, and 2% are just great doctors to be with. And I hope you have the chance to dig through the mud and find those 2%. They exist. I met with them. I'll still talk to them. I'll work with them. I recommend them where I can. But that's the point. So if you go to a doctor, the chance that if you go to a regular doctor, that he knows anything about sleeping problems, the chance is very, very small. And typically he will offer you two types of pills, a pill which makes you fast sleep and another pill which makes you long sleep. These are the two options they usually have. And take those pills and come back in 2 weeks again. Let me know how you're doing. To take pills is a thing which may be not so smart, okay? Good. Now, if you have a sleep problem, like all problems we have, it means very simple one thing. You do something wrong, which you did right before when you got a good sleep. You're doing something wrong. You're introducing something in your life which is wrong. Or you're stopping something which was right. Or the combination of the two. Look at a baby. A baby sleeps incredible easy, and young children, 2, 3, 4 years of age. They sleep in your arms in the middle of a pop concert, they fall asleep, and nobody can wake them up. They have just incredible sleep. So what happens from this baby of 4 years to us of age, that we have sleep problems? We must have something introduced which is wrong, or we must have something stopped to do which was right. I can only tell you now, before we start with these 14 to go down the road, that many of you who have sleep problems and listen to my proposals, how you can get rid of them, will be not able to do it. Very simple, because it means you have to change your lifestyle, which I call nowadays more death style than lifestyle, because with all these fancy, rock and roll, sweet, sexy, entertaining things we fill our life with, it brings us closer and faster to death than to life, to the most parts. So, taking the consequences of what I'm telling you today means you would have to at least to reconsider your lifestyle and reconsider your comfort zones. And many people are just not willing to leave their comfort zone. The comfort zone is the area where you feel comfortable and you stay in there because you know how it works. And to go out of your comfort zone means you have to confront a lot of things and to be active and to work. It means work, because you have to engage yourself in new thoughts and new technologies and new protocols. And most of us are not willing to do that, frankly. And what is the problem to learn? The biggest problem to learn is that you already believe that you know about this subject, so you don't need to learn because you already know it. That's the biggest obstacle. And the second biggest obstacle is once you realize there's something to learn, you get the idea, many people shut down because it means to confront your comfort zone and to get out of the comfort zone. And they don't want to do that. So bottom line is, when we start to knock these off, with every point I give you, you would have to confront your life and say, is that valid for my life and what I'm doing, or is it not? All right? In principle, by day, your body is timed for action, to do something, to be active, to fight, to work. It's a very high level of intensity, energy in your body. That's the daytime. At nighttime, the body and the mind, both, people forget about this. It's your mind as well and your body should relax and should recharge. And this cannot be done under stress. So it has to be in a relaxed mode, because at nighttime your body is very sensitive to influences from outside. As well, your body is very sensitive, and your mind, for influences from the outside. Nearly everything, most of the things I'm talking to you today are free charge, which means you don't need to invest anything. Most of them. They're free charge. You just have to change your attitudes, your lifestyle, the way you think and you work. And which again is not always very comfortable, And many people are not prepared to do that. But without any further ado, let's look into this and see what you are prepared to do. And please watch my standard opening that mankind is extinct because they believed the laws of nature were not valid for them. When we talk about sleep today, there are quite a few issues which cover nature and the laws of nature. We think we can do whatever we want with nature, with our body, which is nature, with our lives, with our days, with our nights, how we deal with people and our surroundings. And we ignore that there are certain written or unwritten laws, and we think we can step on over every border and step on everybody's blue suede shoes with no consequences. Sorry, that doesn't really work. Good. Having said that, the problem number one, again, I will give you in these 2 sessions a total of 14 problems I discovered. And it's up to you to think about them and to write them down and to say, with every problem, make a list. Is that problem referring to my life or not? You got to be honest with yourself. So today we may get to 6, 7, 8, and the others, the very heavy ones, come in the second session when you are warmed up. And you will have time between this session and the next one to look into these ones I give you today, these problems, and address them to your life. You can rehearse and see, oh, is that for me? And there may be only 1, 2 for you. There may be 7 for you. There may be all 14 for you. I don't know. Every life is different. A lot of things are repetitive. So, problem number 1. Let's see what problem number 1 is. Problem number 1 are your personal problems, which may keep you away from sleeping. Personal problems. Yes, there's no question to that. And I'll tell you in a minute about my own experience. And these personal problems can get really to you, and they can keep you awake and cause you sleepless nights. Well, have you experienced what we see here, or know somebody sleeping next to you has experienced this? This is not a single event. What happens then typically, if you have such a sleepless night, a bad night, the next day you're not recovered, you're not in your best condition, and you're trying just to survive the day, more or less not very active, more or less tired, more or less not being able to fully perform. Nobody likes that. You feel bad about yourself because you know you're not presenting to the fullest what you can. It's impossible with these problems. It's impossible to do that. And in many cases, you may recognize the next one where people over the day then don't have any other choice than to take a nap in the middle of the day, or they're falling asleep while doing some job. Once you get in a very comfortable position and you start to read or to write or to work, most likely that comfortable position will pull you in and you will not be able to do your job because the sleep overwhelms you. These are the personal issues. Now you can have personal issues like with your wife, your spouse. You can have them with your children, other family members, with your job, with money, with health, considerations about health. You got bad news in regards to your health. There are plenty of personal reasons which may cause you not to sleep. And let me give you a bit my personal story here real quick. I'm not talking about the aunt from the ivory tower. I must say that most of the things I'm talking about in my webinars, most of the things I personally experienced myself, or had somebody next to me, close to me, where I watched what's going on. And I can tell you that a few years back, at this time, two great friends of mine, who I consider great friends of mine, um, really pulled their knives and stabbed them in my bag. Not even a knife that took axes and tried to slaughter me. They tried to kill my business, my income, my well-being, my everything. People are never expected that to do that. And when that happened, and I lost for the moment everything I thought I had 3, 4, 5 months where I did not sleep more than 3, 4 hours a night. Because the personal problems were so big, it was overwhelming. It made an entire change in my life, entirely. Something I was completely unprepared. If you would have told me one day before it happened, this is going to happen tomorrow, I said, you're full of it. This will never happen. They will never do this to me. And they did. I forgave them, meanwhile. And now I can say, thanks God they did, because otherwise I wouldn't be here where I am today. If I would have had the choice looking back between going through this and arriving where I am and being spared of that experience and still doing what I did before, thanks God it happened to me. But at this moment when it happens to me, to you, you cannot say, okay, it will be good for your good. You just have a bad time for 3, 4, 5 months. You cannot sleep, not more than 3, 4 hours a night. It was terrible. So I completely understand if you have personal problems which make you let you not sleep at nighttime. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Now, that's problem number one. I put it first because it's a very personal thing for which I cannot help you over the show. I'm a life coach, but these are things which can only be done on a one-to-one coaching to try to help you through this. And most people need a help, need somebody who's professional, hopefully, and who's able to coach you through this. And I'll pray for you that you get this done. You got to get it done, because otherwise you won't have your life back. You can't go on like this forever. My 3, 4, 5 months were plenty of time. And I know that there are people out there who have more than that to do. That's problem number one. So what is the solution? You need to find solutions for your personal problems. There's no other way around. You cannot ignore them. You cannot look some other way. They will haunt you. They will still be with you. They will not leave you alone. And time mostly doesn't heal those wounds, because the problem has never been nullified. It has never been, you could call it erased. I call it nullified for special reasons. That's the personal reason number one. Now, and keep in mind, we're talking about nighttime sleep. A lot of us say, I live at daytime, nighttime is a waste of time, I just got to sleep. Well, if you could see sometimes the world like I see it, what a nighttime is, how beautiful the world is out there, how astonishing, how captivating, how interesting, how the world is at nighttime. Usually we don't see it because we sleep, and we don't watch the world at nighttime, which is a great, great experience, to my humble opinion. All right. So these are the problems people do have, mental personal problems. The personal problems end up very often up like this. You may have experienced that in your marriage. It's very difficult if you have a spouse and the spouse goes through these problems and there seems to be very little you can do to help. And I've seen a lot of men, big, grown, strong men, dying because of pain as a consequence, and I've seen them crying. Please do me a favor, don't underestimate these problems. And when you know somebody who's going through these kind of things, or you have the idea, please talk to them, communicate to them. People need a helping hand. People need somebody they can trust, rely on, to talk to. In many cases, just talking to somebody who is really listening and takes care may help the situation. That's problem number one.